Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session on deep learning. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sakshi.
Ma'am, I have given you the right so that we can start now.
Thank you. I will start soon.
Okay, ma'am.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Oh, okay. So today we will discuss two things. The first one is how do we import the pre-trained model? Okay. So how do I make use of the existing pre-trained model? Already model has been implemented. Like if I take the standard architecture such as VGG 16, okay, or VGG 19, then how do I use the already pre-trained model? Okay, we will discuss first that, and afterwards we will also cover how do I import the already existing model for my problem. Okay, these are two things. The first one is how do I use the existing model, that is VGG 16, and how do I validate the result. The second thing is how do I use the pre-trained architectures for my given problem. Okay, let us first discuss how do we discuss or how do I use the pre-trained model. Okay, we do have many applications such as many architectures such as VGG 16, VGG 19, right, ResNet, and there are many other architectures. So you can visit this particular website, keras.io applications. You will find n number of models. Okay, so right now for today's session, I have used VGG 16 pre-trained model. You can explore the other models as well from the same website. Along with some examples, they have demonstrated it, right? So first of all, I will be importing VGG 16 model from this particular module. Okay, TensorFlow Keras applications dot VGG 16, and later on I will be importing the image from the TensorFlow Keras dot preprocessing module. Okay, afterwards we may need two sets of functions such as preprocess input and decode predictions, and we will be importing these from the TensorFlow Keras applications dot VGG 16. And we may use some sort of NumPy array operations, hence I need to import the NumPy as well. So after importing required classes and functions, first of all, what we will be doing is we will be importing the model. Okay, so which model I wanted to import the VGG 16. Fine. We do have many parameters to import. One of the parameters is weights. Okay, I will be specifying the weights. Here weights, these weights are weights which are trained on some specific set of data set. We all know that VGG 16 has been trained on ImageNet dataset, where ImageNet dataset it is very huge dataset, and it is able to classify into 1,000 classes. Okay, that means thousands together classes are exist in this particular dataset. Fine. So I will be importing this particular image. I will be importing VGG 16 model, and along with I want to retain the weights which have been trained. Okay, weights have been weights are obtained by training the on the ImageNet dataset. Okay, so I just want to use those weights which have been learned while processing the ImageNet dataset, right? So I want to import those weights as well. So for that sake, I will be importing that along with this information need to be provided. Afterwards, let us first of all see what does this VGG16 has in its architecture. We have already seen it theoretically. Theoretical architectures we have discussed in last few sessions. And what does this input layer comprises of? What are the next convolutional and pooling layers? How many convolutional and pooling layers does this VGG16 has? And how many fully connected layers does this VGG16 has, right? So on top of that, we do have the output layer, and output layer has how many neurons? It will have 1000 neurons, right? So that we have done theoretically. Let's see it practically. How does this VGG16 looks like? Okay, so I will be using summary function just to see the detailed parameters, how many parameters are there in each of the layers, and what is the shape of the output shape of each of the layers. Okay, when I run execute model.summary, we will be getting different convolutional and pooling layers, right? For example, first one is the input layer. Input layer do have the output shape, and we have seen that input layer, it has 224 height, width, and 3 here is indicating depth. That means my input for this particular VGG16 is in 3 different channels. Fine. And how many parameters does this particular layer has? It has 0 parameters because we don't process anything in the input layer. Hence, it will be 0. In a similar way, when we apply the first convolutional layer, okay, so we will be obtaining 1792 number of parameters. Okay, this we have discussed in detail. How do we obtain these many parameters after applying the kernel, and we have seen the kernel size as well as how many kernels do we need to apply. We have discussed in detail, and we also try to obtain the number of parameters. There also we obtained the number of parameters. When we apply the first convolutional layer, we have got 1792 number of parameters, correct? So it is matching with the summary function, result of summary function. Afterwards, one convolutional layer followed by the other. Again, it will have 36928 number of parameters and so on. And even max pooling, you can see number of parameters. Ideally, it should be 0. Hence, here I have highlighted number of parameters as 0 when we apply max pooling layer on top of convolutional 2D. In a similar way, we do have many other convolutional and max pooling, convolutional and max pooling. At the end, we need to flatten this 7 cross 7 cross 512. Okay, when we flatten it out, we get these many number of, so we do get one vector, okay, comprises of these many neurons. So these many neurons will be connected. These many neurons of this pooling layer will be connected with dense layer, and dense layer has 4096 number of neurons. Okay, so when we have this dense connection, you can check the number of parameters which required to learn are too high as compared to the previous layers, right? So one fully connected layer, the max pooling connected with fully connected layer. Again, next is 4096 number of neurons will be connected with 4096 neurons of the second dense layer, right? And we will obtain these many number of neurons. And afterwards, this 4096 neurons of second fully connected layer will be connected with 1000 number of neurons in the output layer. Okay, so we will obtain these many number of parameters. Fine. So when we do it, we do get these three variable values. The first variable value is total number of parameters for this given architectures are these. When you count the third column, when you add up all the parameters, number of parameters in the third column, you will get these many. Okay. So once you do this, once you get these as total number of parameters, we need to check. There are two other variables which are associated with this parameters. The second parameter variable is trainable parameters. The third one is non-trainable parameters. Try to understand here trainable parameters. Oh, okay. Try to understand here what is trainable parameters and what are non-trainable parameters. Trainable parameters are those which we want to pass our own data input, and we want these number of parameters to train or to learn the appropriate weight values, weight and biases values. And non-trainable parameters are, suppose I want to import some already built-in architecture and I would like to retain those weights, whatever weights, whatever architecture that it has trained on the data set. The architecture might have trained on some data set such as ImageNet, and it might have already do have some parameters which are associated with it. That means it might have, during the learning process, the architecture might have learned some weights. Okay, so I want to retain those weights in my program. So these are two different things. The first one is trainable parameters, means I just want to make sure that on my data set, I want to learn all these parameters, these many parameters. And non-trainable parameters are, I just want to import already learned weights. That's it. Okay. So as you can see here in this example, I just want to use already existing weights. Correct. Right now we have not given the information that these weights should be learned or not. Sorry, these weights should be transferred from the whatever architecture that it has. Okay, if I want all the weights to transfer, okay, to to this particular program, then what I would need to do is I need to make a minor change. We will see that in next. Fine. But you need to understand what are total number of parameters. Total number of parameters will be equal to trainable parameters and non-trainable parameters. Trainable parameters, where using my own program, using my own data set, I want my program to learn the weights. Non-trainable parameters are already being trained on some image data, images. Okay, and that particular architecture weights I want to retain. I don't want to retrain the parameters. This is the difference, right? In this, suppose I just want to have the image path. So in image path, I just imported the sunflower.jpg, okay, one figure. And in this particular figure, I just want to load that particular figure, and target size is 224, 224, because my VGG 16 has 224, 224. It accepts the input size as that. Okay, this particular number of channels here is, you can see it is 3 channels RGB. Okay, and I just want to display the image. When we execute, it will display whatever this sunflower.jpg has. And afterwards, we too need to convert this image to 3D NumPy array. Okay, when we convert this particular 3D to NumPy array, because we know all the whatever you do some sort of calculations, you are going to do it on the numbers, right? So I need to convert image to array type, and I just will check the shape of that particular image. It comes out to be 224, 224, 3, and later on I just want to use for multiple number of images. Hence I need to expand the dimension from 3 to 4. And later on, what are we doing is we are pre-processing the input. Okay, in pre-processing, mainly it do mean centering of the respective image. Okay, once we do mean centering of the respective image, what I want to do is I just want to predict the output of that particular. I just want to perform some sort of prediction on the given input image. Okay, on this particular X, I just want to perform some sort of predictions. So at last, what I'm printing here is I'm printing the predicted result. So in this, the predicted result, what we are having, we do have set of features, and set of features and top equals to 1 as the arguments for this particular decode underscore predictions. Okay, this is the function decode underscore prediction is a function which has been defined in this particular module, TensorFlow Keras applications.vgg16 module. So when we run this, we do get some sort of predictions for the given image. What is that? We will see. It does give information in the form of a tuple. Okay, so what does that has? It does has the first information. Okay, first tuple value is nothing but the name of that particular image. Okay, so it belongs to which particular class name, and the second one is the category of the image, and the third one is the accuracy, the predicted accuracy of the image. So it comprises of the prediction. Okay, so suppose if I want to this decode prediction, it by default it gives 5 different prediction. Okay, definitely top most 5 different predictions for the given input image. But as such, I just want, if I want to have only 1, not 5, then I need to give the value instead of 3. I just want to have only 1 topmost prediction for the given image. So if I do that, I will be getting this particular result. Okay, if I want to check what are the other 2 or what are the other 3 or what are the top 5 or top 6 predictions for the given image, you can do that by changing this variable value. Okay, like this, what we can do is we do have n number of architectures. You can try with all other rest of the architectures, and you just check how does it how do I import the model and how do I get the prediction out of that particular model. Okay, this is just the illustration how do we use the already existing pre-trained model. Now let us move to the second one, that is let us move to the second one, that is how do I use something known as transfer learning. Okay, what is transfer learning? Let's see. What is transfer learning? Transfer learning is one such that suppose I just want to perform the binary classification. Okay, binary classification I just want to perform. This is my problem statement. Given 2 classes, there are 2 classes. I do have images of 2 classes of comprising of a few images comprising of cat image and few images comprising of dog's image. So what I want to do is I just want to apply binary classification. Okay, so for this, what and all I need to do, either use the either you build your own model with set of layers. Okay, you need to import the sequential models, and you need to have n number of convolutional layer and pooling layer, and again flatten. You need to flatten the last layer, and later on what you need to do is you need to apply fully connected layers, FC1, let us say FC2, how many fully connected layer you want, you need to use those. And apart from that, at the end, I will be getting the output layer. I will be having output layer, okay? And output layer depends on number of classes that I want to classify, fine? So for my problem, the output layer should be 2 classes. That means my output layer should have two individual neurons. Okay, now what I can do is either you build your own architecture model comprising of set of convolutional pooling layer and fully connected layers, flattening and then fully connected layer, and get the output. Either you do this or you use the already existing model. For example, VGG16. Right? So we all know that this model has been trained on ImageNet dataset. It has been trained on ImageNet dataset, and it has multiple convolutional layer, pooling layer, flattening, and then it has fully connected layers. Actually, it has 2 fully connected layers followed by 1 output layer. But here output layer, in this output layer has, these are many, right? So let us indicate by these two, let us indicate by dots. These are actually many, right? Many convolutional layer and pooling layer we do have. So I have been just represented with dots, and fully flattening the last layer, and later on adding some fully connected layer. And at the end we do have output, and here output, it does have 1000 number of classes. Okay, now we know this VGG16 has already trained on 1000 number of classes. Either you can what you can do is you have the choice with you. Either you build your own architecture comprising of all these, or else you use the existing architecture which has already trained on many images, so that you can reduce the training time. Okay, training time as well as computational resources can be saved a lot. Because see, this particular data set is very huge, and that particular data, VGG16 has already been trained on that particular data set. So ultimately you will be getting all the required weights and biases which have been trained on multiple data set and multiple data images, right? So in transfer learning, we always try to use the existing models such as VGG16, 19. Okay, there are many other, ResNet, etc., etc., for to solve our own problem. For example, we can make use of this VGG16 to solve this particular problem. So let us see how do we achieve that. First of all, we have imported all the required classes and functions, and later on we do have imported the VGG16 architecture, and here we do have, we just want to retain all the weights which have been trained on ImageNet dataset. Okay, and include top is equals to false. Include top equals to false. That means I see the difference between this architecture and this architecture. It will be clear. In the previous architectures, you are having all layers like input layer, convolutional layer, pooling layer, and so on. Okay, you are having all these layers plus flattening it plus fully connected layers and the output layer. Okay, because by default you have only imported the model, so full architecture will be imported, whereas in this program, in this particular program, full architecture will not be imported. Okay, instead it only imports till the max pooling, the last max pooling. Sorry, it only imports till this particular layer. Okay, why it happened so? Because of this, include top is equals to false. I don't want to include the top fully connected layers. Okay, so when I do include top equals to false, then what happens? It only imports till max pooling layer. Okay, afterwards what it will do, it will we have also mentioned the shape of the input shape here is 224 224 3, right? So when we do con base summary, so we can get the architecture of VGG16 up to max pooling layer, right? So last three fully connected layers have not been imported because we ourselves don't want to import. Why we don't want to import? Because this is giving me how many classes? This is giving me 1,000 classes, right? What I want, I just want to have the output in terms of 2 classes, right? So what I can do is I will be importing till this. I will be importing the architecture of VGG16 till this and add additional, and later on add the additional layers based on my own requirement. Okay. So bottom layers we are keeping as it is. We are removing the top layers of VGG16 and we want to add the top layers based on my own requirements, such as I just want to add one uh, output layer. Okay, one output layer which is fully connected layer with which has 2 neurons in it, right? So let us see when we do this, and let's see how do we achieve, how do I try to add the last one more layer on top of the VGG16. Okay, headless VGG. We do call it as an headless VGG16. Why we are calling headless VGG16? Because we have removed the, we have removed these. We have removed these. Hence, we are saying we are going to have headless VGG16. On top of headless VGG16, I want to add few layers. Okay, how do I add few layers on top of headless VGG16? Let us see. So I need to mention the training path and test path, where in this particular directory and in this particular sub directory. In this particular directory, I do have train images, and in this particular directory, I do have test images. Okay, so I'm saying training path, you take this as training path and you do take this as the testing path. And afterwards, I will be performing some sort of batches, train batch and test batch. And first of all, I will be performing some sort of image data generator. Okay, I will be applying image data generator. If you want to do some sort of augmentation, you can perform some sort of augmentation. Like if you want to flip flip the images horizontally or flip the images vertically. Okay, you are free to do that. Or if you want to rescale the image, fine. So if you want to do some sort of like augmentation, then you can perform that sort of augmentation, and you need to mention what type of augmentation that you are performing. Okay, here I don't require any sort of augmentation, so I have not mentioned anything. Fine. On top of this, I will be calling flow from directory function. And in this flow from directory function, what and all I will be mentioning? I will be mentioning training path, because my train in folder has some subfolders with two different classes. Okay, one comprising of cat subfolder, the other one comprising of dog subfolder. In cat subfolders, we do have some cat images. In dog subfolder, we do have some dogs images, right? So target size I'm mentioning as 224, 224, and classes here I'm mentioning it as because it has two classes. So I am mentioning the name of the classes, the categories actually. Okay. In a similar way, I have performed some test batches, and in test batches also I will be mentioning the same information, correct? Like test path I will be providing, and later on target size I will be mentioning, cat classes I will be mentioning, right? And it will give the output. The output is in this particular form, right? It has 90 different images which belonging to two classes for this particular training, whereas for testing we do have 20 images. Again, it has two classes. Fine. So afterwards, I do get the training batches, and the batch size I have mentioned here as the batch size is here is 40. Okay, so at a time we will be performing 40 number of processing 40 number of images, right? Here, how many we have done in what we have done till now? We have imported the VGG16 headless and we made it as headless, and later on we have pre-processed the images. We have performed sort of like training and testing subfolders, and also we have seen how many classes does my training has, how many classes does my testing folder has. Okay, afterwards, because I need to add some layers. Okay, so I will be adding some layers to it. Fine. So do add for each layer in this convolutional underscore base dot layers. I just want to add the layer. Okay. And when I do the summary, okay, summary of it. So it has the again the same, that is whatever we were having previously. Okay. Because we have not mentioned what type of like layer that I want to add. So after this, what I can do is I can mention here for layer in this model dot layers, mention layer dot trainable as false. This means, see here, all the parameters were mentioning it as trainable parameters. As I said initially, before seeing the first program, while discussing the pre-trained model, how do I use pre-trained model? I said something like, I don't want to use trainable parameters. That means all these trainable parameters, whatever trainable parameters that we have, because already VGG16 has learned on such a huge data set, I want to retain those weights. Okay, so I need to mention here layer dot trainable as false. If I do mention that layer dot trainable as false, that means what I will be getting is I will be getting all these parameters moved to non-trainable parameters. Okay, so to do that, I need to mention for each layers till now, for each of these layers till now, I need to mention that layer.trainable as false, so that I don't want to retrain these number of parameters, right, on my data set, because it has already been trained on such a huge data set. I want to retain those weights, right? So for that sake, I kept it as false. And later on, when we make it, and we will see in the summary also, all these parameters will be shifted to non-trainable parameters. And after this max pooling layer, I just want to flatten it. And afterwards, because I want to add dense layer, so I need to flatten that particular layer, max pooling layer. And afterwards, 7 cross 7 cross 512 will be flattened, and we will get 1D array, one dimensional vector. And later on, I will be adding one dense layer comprising of two classes. Okay, two classes means two neurons. I want to have one dense layer which two neurons. Why two neurons? It must be clear, because my problem statement has need to perform some sort of classification in terms of cats and dogs. And later on, and activation, definitely this time activation, I want to make it as softmax, right? I want to use softmax activation function. And later on, I will just write model.summary. And later on, what we will get is, we will get the output. Am I audible? Is there any connection issue? Am I audible? Okay, okay, thank you. You see, we were having these many layers with us, 7 cross 7 cross 512 till this max pooling layer. Okay, we were having these, right? And later on, what I have added is, I have added one flattening layer, and also I have added one dense layer, correct? So after this, I have printed the summary. So when I printed the summary, you all can see these total number of parameters, 14,711, 714,688. All these have moved to non-trainable parameters. Why it has moved to non-trainable parameters? Because of this particular loop. For each of these loops, whatever parameters that these layers have learned, I want to retain the same parameters. I don't want to, in my program or on my system, on my current system, I don't want to retrain those weights. Okay, I don't want to make these weights learnable from that particular, again, back propagation and all, right? Instead, what I done is, I just made it as false, so that all those parameters will be moved to non-trainable, will act as a non-trainable parameters for my current problem. And trainable parameters, we do have some parameters like 50,178. How do I achieve that number? Because when I perform the flattening of 7 cross 7 cross 512, we will obtain this. Okay, this. And now I have added two neurons, so you can do that calculation. Okay, 25,088 neurons in the previous layer will be connected to two neurons in the next layer. Okay, densely connection. Then you need to have dense connection. That means 25,088 into 2 plus 2 for the bias. It will give you 50,178. Because why you need to make these as trainable parameters? Because you have added this particular layer in your program, current program, because this particular layer has not been implemented in VGG 16. Hence, we have to make our parameters learn for this particular layer, dense layer. Okay, these many parameters need to be learned because this layer has been added freshly, right? So these 50,178 neurons will be, yes, number of parameters will be learned in my program, right? So again, you might have even done this in practical classes, previous sessions. So again, I will be using optimizer, Adam as my optimizer, loss as categorical cross entropy, and I will be getting the accuracy. Okay. I just want to maintain the, I just want to see the accuracy while performing the training. So metric that I have used as accuracy, right? So again, in this fit generator function, what it will do is it will take the number of trainable train batches, and it will how many steps it will perform per epoch. It will take 10, and number of epochs it will take it as 10. Okay. So when I executed it, initially it has loss of 14.2 and with accuracy as 0.46, and later on with time it has improved the accuracy, right? So the overall architecture, the overall importance of this particular session is how do you need to import the already existing model. One I have shown for you, like VGG 16. So you all may try the other one. Okay, VGG 19 is also there in keras.io.applications. So you just first check, you can check that first one, that is this. This particular keras.io applications, and you just check how many do you have, how many sort of already built-in architectures do you have in this particular site, right? Afterwards, you just try to implement one or two. Right? Okay, participants, any doubts?
मैम जो हमने ट्रेनेबल को फोल्स करा उससे समझ नहीं आया क्या मतलब हुआ, क्योंकि
ट्रेनेबल को
हमने फोल्स कर दिया ना जो ट्रेनेबल्स पहले पैरामीटर्स थे पहले वाले,
हाँ हाँ
तो
ओके
उसको हमने फोल्स क्यों करा? क्योंकि हमने तो सिर्फ ऐड ही करी है न्यू लेयर, तो उससे कोई
हाँ
इफेक्ट तो पड़ना नहीं
ओके
चाहिए।
ओके जब हमने ऐड किया है, जब हम डेटा पास करेंगे, हमारे डेटा के ऊपर वो ट्रेन नहीं होगा, ट्रेन नहीं होना चाहिए। ऑलरेडी जो भी जितना भी ट्रेन हो चुका है पहले कन्वोल्यूशनल पूलिंग लेयर्स में, वी वांट टू यूज दोस वेट्स, सो वी मेड इट एज फॉल्स।
ओके
Means already it has been trained on so many images, right? So initial layers, what does it learn usually? Okay, usually it learns some sort of low level features like dot, like one line, or like some sort of sub features, okay, like a circle and so on, right? So I, all these are very, very low level interactions that does the initial layers have. Okay, because we have made, we have imported that such a huge architecture, and that architecture has been learned already on such a huge data set. We don't want to retrain our model. Okay, so hence we kept it as false. Okay. Any other doubt? Okay, Sakshi. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're.
Okay. If there are no doubts, then let the participants try the program. Let them do it practically. Let them try to implement, or let them try to use some sort of classification, and in their classification problem, let them use transfer learning mechanism.
Okay, ma'am.
Maybe on different architectures like VGG 19, they can try.
Okay. So should I give them time right now, or should I give that as an assignment that they can discuss later?
You can give it as an assignment.
Okay, ma'am. So is there anyone having any doubt? Ma'am, I don't think there are doubts right now. I'll
Okay.
give as an assignment, and if any doubt come, then they can ask you about that.
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, everyone. Do try transfer learning.
Thank you so much, everyone. Wait, I'll just upload the attendance link in another 5 minutes. Till that time, you just stay over here.